Have you ever watched the 1993 film Stalingrad and wondered about the real history behind its dramatic final scenes? The movie vividly portrays the grim end of the German Sixth Army, but the actual military operation that sealed their fate is a story of strategy, desperation, and immense scale. This was Operation Koltso, or Operation Ring. By late 1942, the once mighty German Sixth Army was completely encircled in Stalingrad. Hitler had forbidden any attempt to break out, promising they would be supplied by air. But the Luftwaffe's air bridge was a catastrophic failure. Inside the pocket, or Kessel, German soldiers faced starvation, freezing temperatures, and dwindling supplies of ammunition and medicine. The situation was utterly hopeless. The Soviet High Command Stavka knew the trapped army was a ticking time bomb. They needed to eliminate it to free up their own forces for future offensives. So they planned Operation Koltso. The goal was simple but brutal: to methodically tighten a ring of steel around the German pocket and crush it piece by piece. The operation was assigned to General Konstantin Rokossovsky's Dome Front. On January 8, 1943, Rokossovsky sent an ultimatum to General Friedrich Paulus, the commander of the Sixth Army. The terms were generous: surrender, and his men would receive food, medical care, and be treated humanely. It was a chance to save what was left of his army from total annihilation. Paulus, bound by Hitler's fanatical orders to fight to the last man, rejected the offer. The stage was set for the final bloody act. 2 days later, on January 10th, Operation Koltso began. A massive artillery barrage, one of the most powerful of the war, hammered the German positions. Thousands of guns and rocket launchers unleashed a storm of fire and steel. Following the bombardment, Soviet infantry and tanks surged forward from all sides. The German soldiers, weakened by months of deprivation, fought back with desperate courage. But they were no match for the well-fed, well-equipped Red Army divisions attacking them. The Soviet plan was methodical. They didn't rush for the city center. Instead, they systematically squeezed the pocket, slicing it into smaller, more manageable pieces. First, the western part of the pocket collapsed. Key airfields like Potomnik and Gumrak, the last lifelines for the Sixth Army, were captured. This ended any faint hope of aerial resupply or evacuation. As the Soviets advanced, the German-held territory shrank with terrifying speed. The fighting moved from the frozen steppe into the ruined suburbs, and finally into the devastated city itself. The German command structure completely broke down. The pocket was split in two. General Paulus and his staff were trapped in the southern pocket, holed up in the basement of the Univermad department store. On January 30th, the 10th anniversary of him coming to power, Hitler promoted Paulus to field marshal. This was no honor. No German field marshal had ever surrendered. It was a clear, unspoken command for Paulus to take his own life. Paulus refused. The next day, January 31st, 1943, Soviet troops reached his headquarters. Seeing the futility of further resistance, he surrendered, becoming the first German field marshal in history to be captured. The southern pocket fell. 2 days later, on February 2nd, the last remnants of the northern pocket also laid down their arms. The Battle of Stalingrad was over. Of the nearly 300,000 soldiers encircled, only about 91,000 survived to be taken prisoner. Of those, a mere 6,000 would ever see Germany again.